Nervous?
Wait, not at all. Never.
No, you shouldn't be.
Nope.
You got this. I believe in you.
Breeann Poland, Head of Marketing and Communications for Royal Enfield Americas.
Johnny Lewis, the slide school, Royal Enfield flat track program for Brianna.
That was good. Good. We're in New London, Ohio, at what's the name of this ranch?
Lopeka Ranch.
Lupika Ranch, and it's for Johnny's slide school, teamed up with Royal Enfield to ride the. Are we calling it the Himalayan FT 111, or is it just the FT?
FT 411.
411. That's a much smaller model.
Yeah.
FT.
Is that something new we're
411.
coming out
Yeah,
with?
that's spoiler sneak peek. The 111 will be out next spring.
Yeah.
I will be participating, hopefully not making much more of a fool of myself. How did this come about?
Johnny gets ideas in his head, and he sells us on it. No, so I think it kind of came twofold. So you saw the news that Johnny's racing our FT 650 in the American Flat Track course. So his name kept coming up with anybody and everybody. You know, S&S kept saying, like, if you're going to do anything with flat track, you need to work with Johnny Lewis. Other riders, other teams were saying you need to work with Johnny Lewis. We had developed the FT411s with S&S, and we weren't sure what we were going to do with them. And then India kind of took charge and said, okay, we're going to do a slide school. Johnny was sent over a few times to help develop that program. He's done really well with that program over there. So the next step was obviously him doing the FT650 and racing in the American Flat Track class. And we decided, well, if we're going to do a slide school in India, we might as well do a slide school here. Johnny doesn't like to sit still. He's always coming up with new and crazy ideas. So we said, well, Johnny, why don't you manage the program? We'll get you the bikes. Your curriculum is great. Obviously, he has the Moto Anatomy Academy anyways. We just kind of gave him some guidelines on what, how the Himalayans need to be. And this is the first class, and we had a morning session, and everyone was so stoked, and I think they all now want to go down and live with Johnny and be a vegan stick eater and ride some more. But I think everyone left with so much knowledge. I think they're a little overwhelmed maybe because it's a 3-hour course, so they want to soak up everything. And Johnny's like, all right, calm down. This is an introductory course. We're just going to work on the basics here. But everyone, we had people that had never rode on any kind of dirt to people that had some motocross experience. So you're also having to figure out how to individually work with each person, and seeing him adapt with each one of those riders was pretty cool to see.
So what is it about Royal Enfield that you were drawn to that made the fit good for you?
For me, I think just going over the first time I went to the motorcycle show in Goa, and it was just like to see the environment, what they're passionate about. It was
it's a Rider Mania.
Yeah, Rider Mania, and it was the event was they were pushing a non-plastic event, and just they have more to the story than just pushing motorcycle sales, and that kind of is already leading into like more than just racing the race team. They're already like, hey, we want to get new riders out there, and that was and that all kind of started coming together. I'm like, man, this whole thing makes sense to me, and it's kind of what fits for like stuff that I've always been part of, and so this is perfect match.
And so how long have you been doing the school?
Personally, I've been doing schools, I've been teaching people since I was probably like 12 years old. I started my own school about 2016, and then moved to Florida, built a facility, and then I travel all over the place. I go to England, and I've been in the Netherlands, and across Canada doing stuff, and then now
Him to Brazil.
wants to go other places, and so I've been doing it for a while now, and now it's just kind of it's nice. It's a lot of repeat people that I've worked with, for kids that are 10 years old, who are 10 years old now, are professionals and winning AFT races, to beginner riders.
And what's your motivation for wanting to teach? What makes you want to do that every day?
I think the end result at the end of the day, like just seeing people's emotions, like I've had people hug me and cry on my shoulder, life-changing experience just because of, what I say about riding then goes into like changes their life in ways, and that's pretty rewarding. To me, it's almost more rewarding than going to win races. So at the end of the day.
I didn't start when I was young, but I think it seems like more than half of people that ride started in the dirt. People interested, and then a little bit more of a forgiving environment.
Yep.
And what I tell people, and I'm sorry talking for you, but
No.
you might agree, I think Royal Enfield is placed perfectly for a lot of new riders or people looking for the smaller displacement machines.
I think it's placed perfectly across the board. So you have people that want to get into motorcycling, whether it's through flat track, whether it's whatever. So it's, it's accessible, low price of entry, like all those things. But it's also good for the experienced rider,
Yeah.
someone that's been riding for 20 years and maybe doesn't need a big heavy bike anymore, or doesn't want, $20,000 headache or whatever. So they might sell that and buy a Himalayan
Yeah.
or a 650 Twin and have the best of both worlds. So I think we are perfectly poised for so many different groups of riders and demographics.
I've seen, you're right, the spectrum, brand new rider or a guy that had a 68 Interceptor and now he's got a 2020.
Yep.
And I think that's fantastic.
My name's Johnny, I like rocks.
Yeah. What's on the horizon for you, and why? I was drawn via Royal Enfield, and then you had a great website, you had a great explanation. I loved it. You drew me in. I love it, and I love that your passion for teaching is there,
Yep.
and it's obvious. So what's on the horizon for you, and why should people come take your classes?
I think
sit at your feet.
I think the first thing is just kind of the development of the race bike. That's kind of the cool thing for me. It's on top of teaching, I love being a test dummy and developing stuff and saying it's good, bad, like really honing in on not just the race or the people I'm racing against, but really breaking down every aspect. And for me, it's been a fun process with that, which then leads into I went testing last week, and I'm here, and then testing again, and then I'm gonna do another school, and then be racing, and then when we're racing, we're gonna be doing school. So it's kind of keeps me on like a little tour. And it's just gonna be fun because people are, to me, I'm still learning the brand. Like up until I remember seeing Bree post, because I've known Bree for a while about Royal Enfield, but I'm like, I don't know what Royal Enfield is. And it's still introducing people to Royal Enfield and then telling us a little bit of a story that I know. And it's that's kind of the cool thing. But for school wise, the way my schedule usually works is I do summer schools, we go places like where we are. And then I kind of get back down for the winter, and we do schools at my place in Florida, because the weather is about this during the winter time.
Yeah.
So then I'll do that, and then kind of prepare for the next race season, and then we start traveling again. And usually, beginning of the year, so I usually do a little more international traveling. This year, I was in India when we first got everything went down in March, and then didn't get to do usually in England. I go going to the Netherlands and a couple other locations that want me to go there and for my normal school. But I don't know, it's just people are very interested in flat track right now. And if they're going to learn, I like them to learn the right way, versus just going. I mean, it's great to go out in the field and learn how to do it, but when you start getting to that next level, flat track's one of those things. It's pretty simple to do, and it's tough to go fast. Because we're talking hundredths of a second, and inches from each other and stuff like that. So being able to educate somebody on that process to continue to build is fun and inspiring for me. And but like my school, it's motorcycle, and it's Moto Anatomy, so it's motorcycle in the body, and I like kind of covering everything, because I want a happy, healthier life for everybody. And I think riding motorcycles is definitely one thing that makes me happy.
Are you both you're signed up for this?
I am. This is the silent. This is like Penn and Teller.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
This is how celebrities feel. This is how Cody Johncock feels.
Yeah. I'm at Johnny Lewis's Moto Anatomy and Royal Enfield Slide School.
Are we good? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at Johnny Lewis's Moto Anatomy and Royal Enfield Slide School.